Well, even if you're winning, sometimes you still get dragged into these things. Have a look at Port Adelaide at the moment. They are flying. David Koch, I think, came out early on in the season and did something really good. He said, no, we're not going to have a look at Ken Hinkley's contract until late in the year. And now suddenly things have come up. What do you reckon, boys?
Well, I think David Koch is saying we've done this in a sense to take pressure off us. But because his coach has started so well, I think it's only going to build and build with a coaching vacancy.
Let's listen to Koshy.
Don't forget this decision to delay talks about extending Ken's contract was made before the start of the season between Ken and I. He agreed to it because we wanted no distractions this year for our group, our football group, achieving the most success that they possibly can. After 10 rounds, I'm pretty happy with the way that strategy is going.
It may not be Ken that we're worried about, though. Josh Carr was the heir apparent, and now he is going to be somebody who's going to be talked about everywhere.
Well, I think he thinks it's a good theory, but it's always going to be a distraction when a coach is out of contract. But seeing it from that side, I call it the chairman and the board, is you've had Ken for 11 years, so the next decision will be, do you want Ken for 14 years? And we've seen Port Adelaide get to the preliminary final, so they know what that's like. So I have no problem with them waiting to see how they perform at the business end of the season.
I agree with that, Jimmy. There's something semi-magical about what they've done to this point of the season. And while we talk about the future and the need to know, let's not forget about the absolute right now. It's something very special has happened already and could continue to brew.
You're saying it's like a player playing on edge? It's like a coach
I reckon the
edge.
edginess that has been attached to the unknown is the key to this point, Lloydie. And again, the more talk about the future, we're getting away from what they're actually developing to this point, which is very special.
And, of course, every time it comes up, Gold Coast Stewie Jew gets mentioned in dispatches. He had this to say this morning.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Well, I feel like we should be celebrating Damien and his contribution to the game. I'm confident I'm the coach for this club now and into the future. So, and I think the club's pretty clear that I'm that too. I'm 10 games into a new contract. We're building this list from beyond scratch, you know, and we never knew how hard it was going to be, but I feel like we're getting through that.
Well, Josh Carr is the one that fascinates me because everyone says he's the heir apparent. But he's the heir apparent everywhere at the moment. He could well be the #1 seed at Richmond, maybe even up in the Gold Coast. Probably Stewie's copying it every time. And certainly, if they could keep him at Port Adelaide, it's working beautifully.
Yeah, there was the thought when they did bring him back from Fremantle a couple of years ago that he was there for that reason. Now, that was unofficial. There was a nudge, nudge, wink, wink, nod, nod arrangement in that regard. But, yeah, right now, he's probably no closer to that being the case when it's all said and done.
The advantage Richmond do have, though, now is they've got probably 2 months head start, you'd think, on every other club in terms of starting to headhunt who they would like. And that's what we can speak to Benny Gale about later on, Ed.